lot of Doug Hyde's work here. Okay, the museum is broken up into different parts. I had forgotten this, but this is the entrance to the museum here.
They help with prayer, and they help with the messengers that travel between the Creator and the people, and then back to the Creator. Okay? So they all have a particular function. If you're careful, you can see that different carvers basically present the same doll, but they have little touches that are different. Like, and this is First Mesa, right here. This painting by Ray Naha, and the name of this village is Walpi, W-A-L-P-I, Walpi Village. It has historically been the most traditional, certainly of the villages at First Mesa, but also very traditional among all 12 of the villages. You can go to Walpi still. You still see this. This is just a rock formation. This is a housing. Remember I talked to you about the spirit messengers traveling as clouds. And
the clouds, yeah.
Over here, the San Francisco Peaks. So they travel from the San Francisco Peaks as clouds, and then this is the Kiva. They go into the Kiva, and then they transform into physical form, and they emerge, and here they are. And this is called the homegoing ceremony, or the home ceremony. This is the very last ceremony at the end of the prayer cycle, which is from about February to about July. And you see here, there's the ladder, there's people sitting, there's gift giving happening. All of these are different casino. The boys are getting reeds, and the girls are getting dolls. There's some boys getting a bow and arrow. You see all of that happening. And this is the Hemis Casino. He's in charge of the homegoing ceremony.
His name is what?
Hemis, H-E-M-I-S, Hemis. He's the boss of it, so to speak. Okay?
Because we lived in New Mexico, and it was Hemis Pueblo, but it was J-E-M-E-Z.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So this is Hemis, H-E-M-I-S. Okay, so here is the bride-to-be, dressed in her white robe that the groom and his male relatives have woven for her. And she here she's receiving the last doll she will receive, because after she's wearing her wedding robe, wedding to be. So after she's married, she won't receive any more dolls. And these are all her attendants, and they have their hair in what's called butterfly whirls, WHORLS, and that indicates that they are maidens ready for marriage.
Okay.
Okay. So she's getting her last Katsina gift, and all the little girls have other gifts, and the visitors are sitting up here and standing up here, and eventually
And would a ceremony like this be open to the public?
some of them are.
Some of them are, so you just have to time it.
They currently happen? Or
Oh
this-
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
okay.
And so what I always tell people is,
It's getting toward the end now, because it's almost June, so yeah.
yeah, well, it's going to be end of June or early part of July. So what I always tell people is, notice the way how the visitors are sitting and standing. That's what's expected of you as a visitor. You're not going to be wearing shorts. You're not going to be wearing, ladies aren't going to be wearing sleeveless.
Okay.
You're not going to be talking. It's okay to sit. You're just going to be watching. You cannot film anything when you're on the mesa.
Okay.
Any of the mesas.
And those are located, are those in New Mexico or here in Arizona?
Arizona.
At the Hopi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hopi, there's a map I'll show you. So this is the homegoing ceremony.
That's so cool. Thank you.
It is cool. And these are the children's dolls, little girls. Yeah.
So cool.
And really the purpose of the Katsina dolls is to educate the little girls, because it's a matrilineal community. So all of the teaching comes through the women.
Okay.
So the little girls have to learn the stories and the songs, so that when they grow up, they can participate in those things and also educate their own children.
Okay.
So, okay, see up there, there's a doll with a string around it on the top? You see that piece of cotton string?
Yep.
Okay, so the dolls that are given to the, I have to wash my tongue. The dolls that are given to the little girls are going to have a string like that. Many of them will. And the purpose, again, as I said, the purpose of these carved spirit messengers is to educate the little girls, to continue the story, the history, the traditions, and so forth. So the idea was that all those carvings would have a string around them like that, and they'd hang them on the wall. Like here's the little girl where she sleeps, and they'd hang them on the wall by the string. So when she wakes up in the morning, she can look at the dolls and remember her story, remember the teachings. And if she doesn't remember, her uncles will say, tell me again a story about this. Oh, you don't remember? Well, listen, I'll talk to you about it again.
Oh, cool.
You know,
Okay.
so,
good
yeah, so that's what, there's several of these dolls have strings, but that's a good way to.
And what ages does it start at for the girls? Young, like 4 or 5? Probably.
Birth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
as soon as they
I've
understand.
given dolls to children as they were born.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they are hung right there.
So then they learn the stories. What is
They
significance?
learn the
Very cool.
stories and the history.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
So you asked about Katsina, and here we
I've
are.
heard.
Now, over here, this is important since you really want to know about this. Over here, the first 3 rows are the Barry Goldwater collection. You know, Senator Barry Goldwater, right before he announced his candidacy for president.
Who is it?
Barry Goldwater.
Oh, that's-
Senator Barry Goldwater. He donated his entire collection of about 350 dolls to the herd. He started collecting when he was 10 or 11 years old. And his father, he had a friend who spent a lot of time with the Hopi people, and Barry used to go with him, and that's how he learned so much. So the first, if you look at the top row, those are very old,
Yeah.
very old, and you see there's not much color. We call them side huggers because they're not moving; they're just looking at you. But then as you start moving down these rows, you see action, you see a stronger color, you see things like feathers and so forth. And when you get down here, we're talking about art pieces. I mean, they're all art pieces, but this is high-end art.
Looks like they're from the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Or
We have a wonderful Kutsina collection in the gift shop too that you can see without the glass.
yeah.
And we use the term Kutsina or Kutsinam instead of Kachina or Kachinas.
Okay.
It's Kutsina is closer to the Hopi pronunciation for these figures.
Okay.
So that's the whole story. Right here, you got it in a nutshell.
That was great.
From Grandma Cindy.
Thanks for letting me tag along.
Thank you.
And don't miss the potter. This is Nampeo right here, the most brilliant of the potters. This is Nampeo.
Current day potters.
Pardon me?
They're current day potters.
Oh, no. No, this is from 1930s.
Okay. Wow.
That's cool too.
Yeah, so
All the
she's,
pottery from different pueblos and all.
yeah,
the
she's, this is from First Mesa. This is First Mesa pottery, and it's known for low shoulder. That's what that's called. And it's known for the apricot color, and that's a color of the clay. That's not a color that's applied to the clay. Whereas, this is a different color of the clay.
When you say First Mesa, what does that mean, or where is that?
I'll show you.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
Here's Phoenix. Here's Hopi. 3 mesas are on Hopi.
Okay.
There's 4 villages on each mesa, and the Hopi is surrounded by Navajo Nation.
Right.
And Hopi is the only pueblo in Arizona, whereas there's 19 pueblos in New Mexico.
Okay.
Thunder family.
What do you mean by that?
Their name is Growing Thunder. Their
Okay.
last name is Growing Thunder. And it's one. Joyce is the grandmother,
So that,
Juanita is
Okay.
the mother, and Jessaray is the granddaughter.
okay.
So this whole case, which is actually called Grand Possession, is work that the 3 women have put, artwork that the 3 women have done together.
Where do they, and they're alive today, and where do they live?
I believe they live.
Are they
they're-
Arizonans?
No, they're not Arizonans. I think they're Montana, actually.
Okay.
I think third generation.
South.
I don't know.
Looks like they went to South Dakota University.
Yeah. So I think then the Dakotas, because that's the Great Plains area.
Yeah.
The Dakotas, and then the woman back here is Jamie Okuma, and she actually lives in Santa Fe, and she's a California tribal person. That's her work, that
Oh.
piece and that piece.
Okay.
Okay, and in that case, she wins lots of art competitions, and if you look closely, you can see the expressions, the size of the beads. It's absolutely incredible. And then this is Rhonda Holy Bear.
This one right here?
This is Rhonda Holy Bear's work, and she is over here. Rhonda, where are you from?
Yeah.
Cheyenne Sioux in South Dakota.
Okay.
So Rhonda Holy Bear not only works with beads and leather, but she also she carves the wood.
Oh, and this is her work right here?
This is her work. So she has carved the mare and the colt.
Wow.
And she does that herself. And this piece is talking about the future and the past. And the twins are looking at what
The
has
past.
been. And the colt and the horse and the mom are moving towards the future. But if you look at that, the
Yeah.
carving is fantastic. And if you compare the horse depiction, which is made fully from leather.
Oh, wow.
See how
They differ?
it's different. Yeah, it's not any less magnificent. It
Right.
just presents a different story.
Right. They made this one out of all leather,
Yeah,
and that one's carved out of wood.
that's carved.
Wow. Pretty talented.
Yeah, this is one of our favorite pieces.
Yeah.
And this is also part of the original Herd Museum.
Oh, this room?
This room, and this was the auditorium, and this was a wood burning fireplace, and this was built in 1929, but I don't, there have been several expansions.
Okay.
I don't know.
But this is the original.
Right here, we're looking at the original building.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna have to go take a look at that fireplace.
It's gorgeous. I mean, if you look at her work, Jamie O'Connor right here.
And she's from California, I think you said.
Yeah. She's Luiseño and Shoshone Bannock, and Shoshone Bannock I think is I think that's Nevada. So these are her gorgeous things. I'm just always enthralled by this piece right here. It's 4 pieces.
This one on the back?
Mom and Dad, and there's another child and the infant in the cradle.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Isn't that stunning?
Yeah.
Look at the size of her beads. Look at how small those
Oh,
beads
wow.
are. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. Hi, it's nomadicMadman. I just finished touring through the Herd Museum. There's so much to see there. I didn't look at everything, and I'll probably break some of the videos up into segments. It's almost 3:30, and they close at 4 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Bye.